Whoa, 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 whoa. Da-na-na-na-na-na. You too. What it do, man? It's your boy Benji, and we are back in between the ropes. Look, I know there's been a lot of wrestling to catch up on. I've been busy plotting a way to take over the world. And in the meantime, get y'all some content and build the community. I've seen a lot of y'all's comments. I am watching Ring of Honor. I'm going to drop my review on that. A lot of AEW stuff coming too. And we watching movies and TV shows. I'm trying to catch up. So bear with me. I got my visionary glasses on right now. Let's talk about what happened at Clash in Paris. Trash in Paris. Side note, I have continued to talk about nostalgia ruining this company. And they're doing a lot to pander to the people who solely care about viral moments and to give us people that barely come to work. Anyways, Clash in Paris opened with Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I'm gonna let y'all know our OTC is cooked. I mean, whenever he shows up, he gets a huge pop. The people out there were cheering and singing for Roman Reigns. But I have no idea what this dude is doing. And it seems as if Triple H has had no idea what to do with our tribal chief, the man who held the belt for nearly 1,400 days. Instead of rematching Cody Rhodes, going after CENA, Seth Rollins, or doing anything productive, he is fighting Bronson Reed for shoes. He spent the last portion of last year fighting this dude, Solo Sikoa, for the Ulafala. Solo Sikoa has since not apologized nor acknowledged Roman Reigns. But I can't lie. Since he separated himself from Roman Reigns, he had a pretty successful run. I mean, his faction garnered the tag belts. He's been United States champion. And again, he hasn't had to acknowledge Roman Reigns. This match was like what it was. I mean, Bronson Reed spent a good majority of it dominating, which again, just seems funny to me. Roman Reigns was the head of the table, the head of the company. Like, dude, this dude was an insurmountable force. It's tough for me to believe that Bronson Reed would have just beat this dude. I mean, let's think about it for a second. Seth Rollins beat Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns ends up winning the match. Paul Heyman does try to save himself by trying to acknowledge this dude, but he ends up getting choked out. See ya. Braun Breakers is a freak in nature, man. But yeah, the Browns continue to jump Roman, and it comes off a little tough to me because our tribal chief has taken a lot of punishment over the last few years. A couple of spears and a tsunami splash sent him to the gulag. We then get the Street Profits versus the WYATT 6, and I just gotta tell you, they're literally just wasting our time. The Street Profits went 4 years without a championship. Now they're randomly butting heads in this match. They were the most recent tag champions, like a month ago. Why do they suddenly lose their chemistry? Just because Bo Dallas asked them backstage on Friday if they were truly brothers? Now they suddenly don't know how to work together? The Wyatts end up retaining after a bunch of interferences. I mean, it's literally like 6 versus 2, so I mean, there's that. The problem for me is that I just simply do not care for the Wyatts, and they have barely said or done anything interesting in months. I mean, they are a change of pace from the high-flying, quick, charismatic, and corner-bending talents that are in the rest of the tag team division. That may add a little bit to the boredom, but they probably should have won the belts when they were first hot, and instead of being banished off of TV after losing a feud, once they were reincarnated, and let's not forget, they lost that feud to a faction that no longer exists. I'm gonna breeze through it, man. We also got Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. I told y'all, after seeing their confrontations, that this was gonna be a sloppy, nasty match. And it was. I mean, look at this. I wouldn't want Nikki to hold the Intercontinental Championship. And after that match, I would prefer her to just call it and go back to podcasting. This match ends in a roll-up win for Becky Lynch. They honestly just wasted our time with this. But I am sure that the plenty of people who wanted to catch up on Nikki Bella were happy to see her. If you had to ask me, this match could have easily been Stephanie Vaquer versus the Mystery Challenger for the big belt. The next match was SHEAMUS versus RUSEV in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not really well versed on Donnybrooks, but here we are. I assumed this match was going to be like solid, and SHEAMUS and RUSEV haven't really put together bad matches. It just feels lifeless to me. These guys beefing is another nod to the past, and I'll let it slide because you guys like it. They do hate each other, and there were some brutal spots in this match. I was surprised to see Rusev get the W, but I can understand it. I mean, it's like really the only way that things could have gone. I do wonder what is next for these two, especially after seeing Sheamus tap to a super accolade. He is Mr. Fight, Fight, Fight. So, I mean, it should really mean something, especially for his character, that he's one of the people who asked for a match like this and tapped. He still comes out in like the generic lettering, and then, you know, they switch it up to the colors. Like, are they trying to allude that John Cena's like gonna turn again or something like that? I don't know what that is. John Cena versus Logan was actually a good match. This is probably one of the builds that has had some of the most interesting promos going in. I think this really could have been cool with Cena and Logan fighting a while back, especially since these guys had a little bit of tension if we look at the Royal Rumble. But here we are. These guys tagged together not long ago, and now they've got a match where they're beefing. It was pretty cool. We got to see Cena get in his bag. I mean, he was pulling out end of days, finishing moves, and styles clashes. Crazy enough, we saw Logan kick out of multiple attitude adjustments, so that was interesting. I do gotta mention, we typically like to rate things yay, nay, and somewhere in the middle is okay. I mean, this match, I'll give it a yay, alright? I'll give it a yay. It was one of Cena's better matches this year. Typically, Logan Paul is gonna put together a good match. I enjoyed the build. There's some good moments, some really good bag work, and end of the day, it's the best match on the card. The entire show was a nay, if you had asked me. A lot of just nonsense, but let's continue forward. The final match was the Fatal 4-Way. End of the day, most of us assumed Seth Rollins would win. I'm not really a fan of triple threats and 4-ways having just majority of the match being one-on-one matchups. And I get it, it's tough to do it any other way since people will get distracted, and I mean, at the end of the day, it has to be cohesive and smooth. But yeah, like, when they're just majority of the time just doing one-on-one stuff, and then like the other people are just resting or knocked out, But yeah, a couple guys going through tables ended up opening up the windows for, again, a one-on-one. And we all thought CM Punk was gonna win it, and then whoop-de-doo. Some dangerous masked marauder, a masked assailant, shows up in a hoodie. I mean, dude, first of all these people that interrupt, they just show up in like ninja gear. And look at this, Becky Lynch. She appears and delivers the final low blow to assist Seth Rollins in getting the W. Funny enough, before the match, Seth Rollins cut a promo talking about how he was used to doing things solo and didn't need anybody's help in order to retain the championship. And yet, here we go. How many matches has he won solo this year? I was one of the people that assumed that we should have seen Becky and Seth team together a long time ago. So it is nice to see that they have similar characters, and it only makes sense that they are aligning themselves, especially since we see that Becky Lynch was one of the people that tricked the world when it came to Seth Rollins and his current conditioning when he pulled off the heist of the century. So I'll give a point to the vision for that one. The majority of the night was a nay to me. And I'm going to transition smoothly into WWE Raw that came right after. The show opens up with our tribal yeet, Jey Uso, mentioning that he would have been alright if he didn't interfere in Roman Reigns' match. Well, he did, and now he has tape on his belly/ribs. He calls out the Vision and then gets LA Knight. LA Knight gets on the mic, and at the end of the day, he understands it now. He finally gets it. He's a loser. This is a universe in which you will just not win, brother. He does mention that Jey Uso lives in the shadow of his cousin. Seth stands in the shadow of his wife. And LA Knight comes to his senses. What has come in between him and the championship, specifically last night, was Jey Uso. This dude will never escape the bloodline vortex. The Brawns break up the tension, mentioning that Paul Heyman is not there to prevent them from putting anyone else in the hospital. And Bronson Reed is asking to be acknowledged as a tribal chief still. You lost. They ended up challenging Yeet and Yeah to a match in which Bronson said, maybe y'all don't have the balls. Y'all yeet, no skeet. I should have already known what kind of show I was going to be in for after this dude said that. Later backstage, we see the Kabuki Warriors squashing beef with Io, but there's like a really passive-aggressive tension between them. Io mentions that she can aid them in their upcoming match, but Asuka says they don't need help, unlike Rhea. First of all, Asuka, you better watch your mouth. That's a good way for you to get written off TV. If it was me, I would not disrespect Mrs. Give me the title I never lost. Give me the title I never lost. I'm going to get back my title. I wouldn't do it. End of the day, this match ends with the Kabuki Warriors catching a W. And I'm so glad that Asuka gets rid of the hip move as a finisher and uses that to transition into a submission move, which just seems more legit. Honestly, I don't know what the match is for. Honestly, I don't know if this is like supposed to be like a contenders match or just a standard tag match. I don't know. We also get Adam Pearce appearing in a video segment talking about Stephanie Vaquer's newest challenger, Io Sky. They will battle for the Women's Championship in WrestlePalooza. Oh, convenient. This will likely be the best match of the night, and it is very likely that we will get Vaquer wearing the belt. I wonder if this Kabuki Warriors drama will make its way into that match. The next match we got was Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. I thought it was interesting that Finn Balor actually won. The atmosphere was great during this match, and it was a good match, but I'm not sure what this does again. These guys are the tag team champions. When I say that, I'm talking about obviously Jada Madonna and Finn Balor. Finn Balor's only won solo matches that do nothing to increase his lore. And shout out to Dragon Lee, but he has done nothing but to put together good matches and then lose and then repeat. And so up until this point, the show is an A for me. I mean, there's nothing really going on. I mean, the Jey Uso and Braun promo was like 20, 30 minutes, bro, of them talking about really nothing. They're professional wrestlers. They're going to put together a solid match. Go watch a live event if you want to see that. If you want to see just, pure entertainment. We then see Io backstage with Nikki Bella. And not gonna lie, it feels as if this whole episode, there's just a cameraman solely dedicated to following around Io Sky. Nikki Bella is backstage congratulating Miss Sky on the news about her title opportunity. I did kind of enjoy it. Asuka's being like a possessive beast and mentions that she will help Io with Stephanie. She does also mention that they had championship opportunities, or at least aspirations. These aspirations will be in the tag division. I know that Asuka was like a whole in the King of the Ring tournament, and we believed that she was going to get a championship opportunity, but now it's tag team stuff for her. But I am kind of digging this story, not gonna lie. I mean, since she has been gone, Io has been pretty good, solo dolo, and things have been different since Asuka and Kairi were used to helping Io any chance that she got when she was in Damage Control. There's this funny thing that continues to happen too whenever Kairi tries to linger and speak. Like, Asuka just goes off on her. She's like, Kairi. We then get Kathy Kelly interviewing Rhea Ripley about the title picture since her new friend Io Sky is in the championship match. I mean, dude, they are drilling the storyline home. It does make sense. I mean, what they've done up until this point is build up the women's division solely around these characters and Naomi. But since now Naomi is no longer in the picture, you don't really have much to do with the women's division now, do you? You now have her jumping into the men's storylines. Of course, Rhea says she's going to earn a championship opportunity, and then Asuka steps in and she spits some real. Rhea. I'm not going to do the accent, I'm sorry. Basically, Rhea's asking for a championship match against Io, and Io hasn't even won the match yet. This woman is sick in the head. Girl, she cannot wait for an opportunity to beat Io. Just relax. That's basically what Asuka says. And yeah, the two of them go back and forth, and Asuka's like, I'll poke you because I'm poking a bear, and I'm Asuka. The moment that many people were waiting for was AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship, and Finn and JD were banned from ringside. Dom always has something up his sleeve. In the middle of the championship introductions, he attacks AJ Styles. Ultimately, it is a Grande Americano interference that leads to Dominic getting the win. A lot of people are salty about Dominic Mysterio winning and believe that AJ Styles should have won this moment in Paris. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like on that side of the internet that just believes that people should do things because they should do them and because it would be a nice moment. You guys are literally like arguing for the things that you argue against. I mean, it would have been a nice viral clip, sure. But I think that we should give Dom an opportunity to kind of build the lore, and at least we have a new challenger here, a new opponent, a guy who's probably going to be with the company in the next couple of years, instead of AJ Styles, who's on his way out. I would have liked to see AJ Styles win something or fighting against John Cena in a crowd like this. That would have been your moneymaker, but we didn't get that. I don't think they really have any plans for this version of Grande Americano, at least on Raw. I mean, dude originally showed up and was beefing with luchadors, then he became the speed champion, and then since then he's come back and been tall. He doesn't really do anything. He doesn't even really speak. Yet we get him in AAA, and he's cutting Spanish promos, he's singing songs in Spanish, and the people love him. He was literally just fighting against Dom the other week for a championship. Now suddenly he's helping him. I don't really understand it. No lie, this was funny. The New Day did a segment. They were actually participating in a funeral for the tag team championships. I mean, it's funny that they talk about the belts being banished to the clubhouse as if they were defending them regularly. They do end up matching up with Grayson Waller against the Viking Kings, or the Viking guys, or the War Raiders in Penta. I mean, Woods ends up eating a series of moves and then eats the pin. I don't even understand what the purpose of this match was. I have no idea what's next for these 6 people. I completely forgot about the War Raiders, honestly, if you had to ask me. CM Punk gets on the mic and he's just upset with Seth Rollins, which I don't understand. Like, I get him being upset with Seth Rollins, but I don't really understand why he's upset with Seth Rollins, other than the fact that they have had beef. Seth Rollins is a strategist. CM Punk begs Seth Rollins to come out and face him, and I love the troll we get. Becky Lynch hops out as Seth's music plays. I do think that she's got to be having the most fun that she's had in a long time. Things get a little foolish because Becky Lynch comes out and mentions that she dislikes CM Punk and has disliked him for over 10 years because his name has undermined her success, as they people have been chanting CM Punk's name during her matches. Is this true? Can anyone fact check this? I'm not mad at Becky aligning herself with the Vision, but this is just a weak way to draw beef between these two. I mean, Punk has always respected Becky, so why not just let her be manipulated by Seth and be like blindly following him? My kid hates CM Punk, so now I just gotta, like let's make this be like something other than the fact that she just made something up. CM Punk quickly calls out the BS that she's talking about and is even more shocked at how much of a reach that it was. I thought it was funny that he mentions that he's the best in the world, and it's not just him saying it. Seth Rollins shows up and asks CM Punk to meet him on the ramp. For some strange reason, CM Punk turns around and then faces Becky Lynch, which only opens up the opportunity for her to just braid him and act like a 2-year-old, and he starts slapping the heck out of him. If this is wrestling for like 20 years ago, you would have given her a GTS. And I think the crowd was cheering for a GTS. He just walks out of the ring and then lets Becky know that she's going to regret putting her hands on him. That makes a lot of people assume that AJ Lee's going to return or something like that. But what if AJ Lee doesn't return? Y'all may have had your expectations and put them a little too high. Who's CM Punk's partner if they ever do this intergender match? And it's going to be like Rhea Ripley or something like that. Y'all are asking for the nostalgia acts. And so, instead of building new wrestlers, allowing people to come up from NXT and actually do something meaningful and worrying about the future and building up stars other than the people who have been in the limelight for the last 10 to 20 years, y'all are asking them for nostalgia acts. And if they want to continue to keep the ratings high, that's all they can do. So they're not putting together any compelling storylines because they're only keeping the same people in the hamster wheel. CM Punk is like 50. Seth Rollins is like 40. Roman Reigns, 40. John Cena, 50. Cody Rhodes, 40. Guys, we need more people. We need new talents. But y'all continue to allow for the downfall of the company because y'all are asking for them to continue to revolve around people who have, past their expiration date. Anyways, the Vision beat Jey Uso and LA Knight, and the show ends on Jimmy Uso coming to save his brother from a super brutal breakdown. I'm happy that the Bronze finally get a win, but I don't know what this is all for. Why is everyone just blindly following Seth? What vision is he creating? He only holds one belt. Why not go get the other belt from Cody too? I am not sure why the Usos and Braun and why are these guys all still feuding and fighting? And I'd say that's my biggest issue with this booking. It's just week after week. It's just a mix of the same people matching up. Like, we've already seen Jey Uso in a tag match against the Bronze. I understand the dynamic of these guys have beef, and so now they have to work together. There's no really incentive for them to win this match, because even if they lose, it's not like there's a championship on the line or something like that. Anyways, Seth has already mentioned that he does not need the Vision to win, and yet they still blindly serve him. Jimmy Uso was just fighting against Jacob Fatu in Solo's bloodline. Now he aligns himself with Jacob Fatu because Jacob Fatu realizes, hey, Solo's a little corrupt. Yeah, fool. But let's not forget that this dude was beefing with his twin brother over a year ago. He's aligning with the ops over there on SmackDown. And nothing really happened on this episode that really meant anything. But they got their own moment with Becky Lynch slapping CM Punk. So that might mean something for her. But again, she is the Intercontinental Champion. What about the challengers? No one showed up to challenger. And Io Sky is still backstage talking about Nikki Bella. I hope you get your rematch. Girl, no. I've been watching Ring of Honor.